Close your eyes for a moment and drop every sense of effort. There is nothing you must chase, no one you must convince, and nothing you must beg for. The only requirement is that you vibrate correctly. And to vibrate correctly means to feel it as if it were already yours. You are not here to strive. You are here to remember that your life is not created by the world around you, but by the vibration within you. What you call your life is a mirror, an echo, a shadow of your inner state. You are the projector. The world is the screen. Desire is not a signal of distance. It is a sign of nearness. The very moment you long for something, it already exists within you. Your longing is not a gap, it is a whisper from a deeper realm, telling you it is done. But the only way to bring it forth is to feel it now. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. To vibrate correctly is to accept that you are already in possession of the thing you desire, to smile without reason, to act not from desperation, but from knowing. It is to rest in the truth that the outcome is settled, and your only task is to enjoy its unfolding. The world you see will always obey the world you feel. If you walk as if you are abundant, love must show up. If you speak as if you are chosen, the world has no choice but to confirm it. If you hold peace within, conflict cannot attach itself to your vibration. That is the law. Stop arguing with appearances. Appearances are old news. They are reflections of who you were, not who you are now. When you shift your vibration, your world must catch up. Do not seek, express. Do not chase, assume. Do not beg, become. The most sacred place you will ever visit is your own imagination. That is where all things are born. That is where you must go, not to find the thing, but to become it. And when you become it, the world rearranges. So vibrate as the one who already has it. Feel as the one who has already become it. Think not as one who waits, but one who remembers. There is a truth so simple, so profound, that many overlook it in search of something louder, more complicated, or more dramatic. But the quiet truth remains. Your inner state is the blueprint of your reality. What you carry in your thoughts, your emotions, and your assumptions, these are not private, powerless things. They are the very materials from which your world is formed. Every moment, you are offering a signal. Not with your words, not even with your actions, but with your vibration, your internal atmosphere. That vibration is made of what you consistently feel, what you believe is true for you, what you assume without question. And this signal does not go unnoticed. It organizes matter, it calls forth people, opportunities, delays, breakthroughs, and outcomes, not by coincidence, but by correspondence. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. If you feel unworthy, you will unconsciously turn away every form of love that comes your way. If you assume lack, the world will show you more and more evidence of it. But if you walk with a quiet confidence and knowing that life favors you, then even in silence your world shifts to reflect that truth. People often speak of changing their circumstances. They want a new job, a better relationship, more wealth, more peace. But they try to alter the external without altering the internal. They try to renovate the mirror instead of adjusting their own expression. They do not yet understand that the outer world is the consequence, not the cause. It is the effect, not the origin. It is the outpicturing of what has already been accepted as true within. You must come to see yourself as the cause. You must understand that reality is not something happening to you, it is happening through you. You are not merely a participant in life, you are the scriptwriter, the director, the casting agent, and the star. Your assumptions dictate the plot. Your emotions set the tone. Your imagination builds the scene. Everything begins within. If you feel rich in spirit, the world cannot help but bring you reflections of wealth in many forms. If you feel chosen, the world will treat you as significant. If you carry a vibration of peace, even chaos will dissolve in your presence. That is the power of alignment. That is the power of becoming the thing you once sought. This is not about pretending. It is about embodying. To feel is to fuse with the experience. When you genuinely feel something as real, even before it arrives, then in the unseen it already has. The world will respond, not because you demanded it, but because you aligned with it. Your inner state has already declared, "This is who I am," and the outer world simply follows suit. So many wait for life to show them a reason to be happy before they smile. They wait for love before they feel lovable. They wait for success before they feel deserving. But they have it backward. The inner state must come first. It is the seed. The outer conditions are just the harvest. Do not wait. Do not seek proof. Become the proof. Hold the vibration now. Feel the wish fulfilled and walk in the knowing that life has no choice but to rearrange itself to match you. That is how you create. That is how you move from effort to ease. That is how you take your power back. Because the world is not separate from you. It is you, writ large, reflected back. And once you truly understand that, you will no longer chase reality. You will create it. Desire is not a sign of lack. It is not a signal that you are missing something or that you must go out and hunt for what you do not yet have. Desire is the evidence that what you long for is already yours in the unseen. The moment a true desire rises within you, effortless, sincere, and alive, it is not pointing to a distant future. It is pointing to a hidden reality that already exists and is waiting to be claimed through awareness. Many have been taught to view desire with guilt, with hesitation, or with suspicion. They believe desire means they are discontent or greedy, but that is a misunderstanding of its divine nature. Desire is not a weakness. It is a whisper from a deeper realm, from the unseen part of you that knows your potential, your path, and your spiritual inheritance. You are not here to suppress desire. You are here to recognize it as a signal of possession. You do not desire what does not belong to you. That is why your desires are different from those of others. What calls to you has already been assigned to you. It already exists in consciousness, in potential, in spirit. Your role is not to strive for it, but to receive it, not with force, but with faith. You are not chasing it, you are unfolding it from within. The outer world is simply the stage where the unseen becomes visible. But the unseen is more real than the visible because it is the origin. What you see is the shadow. What you feel is the truth. When a desire arises, it is your higher self reminding you this is already part of your story. It is not a maybe, it is not a possibility to be earned. It is a reality to be accepted. Most people make the mistake of responding to desire by looking outward. They begin grasping, chasing, comparing, trying to make something happen. In doing so, they communicate one message to the universe: I don't have it. And so they remain stuck in a loop of wanting, never realizing that the desire itself was the invitation to align, not the command to chase. The universe does not respond to words, it responds to states. When you vibrate as though it is done, when you assume it with the quiet certainty of one who knows, reality has no choice but to reflect what you have already claimed in spirit. That is the law. That is the secret. That is the power. You must trust the desire. Not question it, not delay it, not water it down with doubt. If it is within you, it is already yours. Your only task is to live in the end, to feel the fulfillment, to dwell in the state of already having. From that state, your decisions change, your energy shifts, and the world rearranges to mirror your new vibration. The thing you desire is not far from you. It is not waiting to be built, it is waiting to be seen. And the moment you recognize that, the moment you stop striving and start receiving, you will realize that you were never separate from it. You are not becoming something new, you are remembering what has always been yours. The desire was not a dream, it was a revelation. Vibration is not a sound, it is not a movement you see, it is not about activity or external effort. Vibration is consciousness in motion, your state of being radiating outward and calling life to respond. It is invisible, but it is powerful. Every thought you consistently entertain, every feeling you hold as familiar, every assumption you accept as true becomes part of your vibration. And that vibration is not idle, it is the cause behind every condition you call reality. To vibrate correctly is not about doing more, it is about aligning more deeply. It is not about forcing circumstances, people, or outcomes. It is about embodying the feeling of your ideal before it becomes visible. You do not have to beg for what already belongs to you. You simply need to match its frequency. You must become it in thought, in feeling, and in belief. People often mistake movement for progress. They act, hustle, plan, and push without changing their inner state. But your results do not come from effort alone. They come from your alignment. When you are vibrating from lack, no amount of action can override that state. When you are vibrating from wholeness, even in stillness, things begin to unfold for you. That is the difference between striving and allowing, between chasing and attracting. The world around you is a mirror. It reflects not what you demand, but what you are. It does not listen to what you say, it echoes what you feel. If you feel forgotten, life will overlook you. If you feel abundant, life will provide. This is not personal, it is law. You are a broadcasting station, and your signal is determined by your most dominant thoughts and emotions. To change your life, you must first change your signal. Imagine a life where your inner world is in harmony with the world you want to live in, where you no longer react to appearances, but respond from a deeper truth. That life is not far away. It begins with alignment. You align when your thoughts no longer contradict your desires. You align when your emotions support your vision instead of sabotaging it. You align when you feel the joy, peace, or power of what you want now, not later. To vibrate correctly is to live in the state of the wish fulfilled. If you desire love, you must feel lovable now. If you desire success, you must feel capable now. If you desire peace, you must rest in calm now. It is not about faking it. It is about tuning yourself to the reality you are choosing. You are not pretending. You are declaring. You are stepping into the version of you who already lives that life. The moment you shift your vibration, the process begins. The right people are drawn in, the right doors open. Circumstances move without your struggle. Not because life suddenly favors you, but because you finally stopped resisting it. You aligned. You stopped contradicting your desires with fear, doubt, or frustration. You stopped vibrating from what you lack and started vibrating from what you have. You are not a victim of chance. You are a creator of experience. And you create not by brute force, but by frequency. The feeling you return to again and again becomes the reality you live. So return to joy. Return to peace. Return to belief in the unseen. And from that state, all things are possible. This is the true work. Not to change the world, but to change your vibration. The world cannot help but follow, because consciousness, when in motion, becomes vibration, and vibration, when aligned, becomes manifestation. To live in the end, is to place yourself mentally and emotionally where you would be if your desire were already realized. It is to abandon the waiting room of life and enter the finished scene. Most people unknowingly dwell in lack. They may speak of what they want, but their inner dialogue is soaked in the feeling of not having it. They pray from absence. They visualize with doubt. They wait for signs before believing. And so, they remain in a state of longing rather than fulfillment. Living in the end is the opposite of hoping. It is the opposite of trying. It is not concerned with how or when. It is a quiet knowing that what you have imagined is already yours, and all that remains is the natural unfolding of the scene into physical form. You do not rehearse for what is already done. You rest in it. You breathe from it. You let it shape your identity. You must begin now to feel the reality of the end, not just think about it. The mind may agree with the concept, but the heart must dwell in the experience. To wish for something and to feel it as real are not the same. One acknowledges distance, the other declares arrival. If you believe you need something to change before you can be satisfied, you are placing your power in the external. But the external does not move first. Consciousness does. Every moment spent in yearning reinforces the gap between you and your desire. It says, I am not it. It feeds the illusion of separation. And yet, everything you seek is already yours in the unseen. The only delay is your unwillingness to accept it as done. The only barrier is your habit of returning to the state of waiting, rather than the state of being. There is no force more creative than feeling. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are not tricking the universe, you are revealing yourself to it. You are becoming a vibrational match for the reality you choose. And just as a radio must be tuned to the right frequency to receive a station, your life must be tuned to the feeling of the outcome you desire. Not later, now. Living in the end means your internal world reflects the result, not the process. You speak as one who already possesses. You move as one who already knows. You let the outcome inform your state, not the absence. Even if the world presents the opposite, you persist in the assumption that the end is already secured. Because it is. In consciousness, it exists now. This is not denial of reality. It is the creation of a higher one. The visible world is the echo, not the origin. It follows you. It mirrors you. To dwell in the end is to walk forward from a place of completion. No pleading, no resistance, no bargaining, only calm acceptance. And in that calm, you release the blocks that delay your manifestation. You move beyond time and effort and enter the realm where imagination is power and assumption is law. When you live in the end, you are no longer distracted by appearances. You are not shaken by the absence of evidence. You understand that the seed has already been planted and must bear fruit. All you are required to do is remain faithful to the state. Remain faithful to the feeling. So do not ask, when will it come? Instead ask, am I living in the end, or am I dwelling in the waiting? The shift is subtle, but it is everything. When you think from the desire rather than of the desire, you step into your power as a creator. You are no longer a seeker. You are a revealer of what already is. Let the end live in you so fully that the world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your vision. Let your assumption be the foundation. Let your feeling be the evidence. Because when you live in the end, you live in truth, and the truth always finds its way into form. Silence is not weakness. It is not retreat. It is the posture of one who knows. It is the quiet strength of the soul that no longer begs for proof, no longer argues with reality, no longer seeks validation from the world. In silence, there is authority, not the authority that shouts, but the kind that radiates, calm, unshaken, certain. When you become silent, truly silent in your spirit, You enter the realm of conviction, and it is conviction, not pleading, that the unseen responds to. Too often we speak endlessly about what is missing, what hasn't arrived, what we hope for. We affirm our desires, but in the same breath we affirm our doubts. We confess lack more fluently than abundance. But every word carries vibration. Every conversation you entertain is a mirror of the state you're dwelling in. When you talk about what you don't have, you stay tethered to that experience. When you repeat the story of struggle, you stay aligned with struggle. The universe does not hear your words, it hears the energy behind them. Silence is the language of the fulfilled. One who has already received does not announce it at every turn. They rest, they smile inwardly, they know the gift has been accepted, even if it is not yet wrapped in form. They do not chase, they do not convince. They walk quietly in the assurance that what is theirs is already en route. That is power. That is the energy that moves mountains without lifting a hand. When you stop explaining yourself, when you stop trying to get others to understand your journey, when you no longer need the world to approve your dreams, you step into sacred territory. Your silence becomes a sanctuary for your vision. No longer exposed to the opinions of others, no longer diluted by contradiction, your desire begins to take root deeply. The stiller you are within, the more powerful your manifestation becomes. Silence is not passive. It is not about avoiding speech altogether. It is about intentional stillness. The decision to no longer use your words to rehearse what you do not want. Instead, speak only what affirms the truth of your vision. And even then, speak with restraint, not from insecurity, but from wisdom. You do not need to declare your desires to everyone. The more sacred your dream, the fewer ears it should touch. What you say reveals what you believe, but what you no longer need to say reveals what you've embodied. When the inner work is done, the outer need to explain dissolves. You begin to understand that your manifestation is not the product of loud affirmations or constant reminders. It is born from the deep, still place within you that has already received. You feel it, you live from it, and you allow the world to catch up. So stop pleading, stop convincing, stop proving. You are not here to negotiate your worth or justify your vision. You are here to become it. And in becoming it, there is no struggle, only stillness. This silence is not emptiness. It is fullness contained. It is the pause before the miracle appears. It is the space where the unseen responds not to desperation, but to certainty. Speak only from this state of fulfillment, and when words are not needed, rest in your silence. Let it be a shield for your vision, a container for your power. The one who truly believes has no need to shout. The one who truly knows does not fear delay. Your silence declares, it is done, it is mine, it is unfolding. You are not here to chase, to seek, or to beg life for scraps of joy. You are not a beggar in the grand theater of existence. You are the source. Everything you see, everything you experience flows from you, not to you. The world you move through is not separate from you. It is a reflection of you. It is shaped not by effort, but by alignment, not by force, but by inner clarity. To believe you must run after your desires is to forget who you are. The very act of seeking implies lack. It confesses, I do not have. And so, the outer world responds faithfully to that signal. It mirrors your belief, not your words. You may say you want abundance, love, or peace, but if you feel like a seeker, longing, waiting, needing, you emit the frequency of absence. And the law is simple. The outer must conform to the inner. All creation begins within. The images you hold, the feelings you dwell in, the assumptions you accept as truth. These are not just thoughts. They are the substance of reality itself. You are not reacting to the world is reacting to you. It bends to meet your state. The moment you shift, the moment you step into alignment with the end you desire, the world begins its reordering. It does not ask for permission, it follows your vibration. You do not have to struggle to make things happen. You must simply remember your center. When you know that you are the source, you stop looking outside for answers. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for a sign to begin. The sign is already within you. It is the desire itself. That desire is not calling you to find something out there. It is inviting you to awaken what already exists in here. The world is not here to give you what you want. It is here to reflect who you are. So if you want something different, you must become something different. Not by pretending, but by assuming. Assume the energy of the one who already has it. Assume the confidence, the peace, the gratitude of the fulfilled version of you. Because that version is not far away, it is present, waiting for you to identify with it. When you finally see yourself as the origin, not the observer, your posture changes. You stop chasing. You stop hoping. You begin to create, not by doing more, but by aligning more precisely. Alignment is the language of the unseen. It is how the invisible becomes visible. It is how the imagined becomes real. You are not at the mercy of the world. You are not a victim of chance. You are the cause behind the curtain. You are the center point from which all experience is shaped. The job, the relationship, the opportunity. They do not exist apart from your consciousness of them. They are drawn to you, shaped by you, awakened through you. So stop asking life to give you what you have not yet claimed within. Stop waiting for change to happen on the surface while you remain unchanged within. Step into your rightful role. Feel the power of being the source. Everything you desire is already contained in the field of who you are. The shift is not out there. The movement begins in your inner world. And once you align with the version of you who has already received, the world must obey. It cannot do otherwise. It is law. The mirror cannot show a smiling face unless you smile first. The world cannot reflect fulfillment unless you become fulfillment. In thought, in feeling, in identity. You are not becoming anything. You are revealing what has always been. You are not finding the light. You are remembering that you are the light. Let that truth settle deeply and watch how the world moves, not because you pushed, but because you finally stood still in your power. When you finally realize that the world outside is merely an echo of the world within, you stop trying so hard to make things happen. You no longer chase, beg, or struggle. You understand that alignment is creation. That vibration is not noise, it is power. The correct vibration is simply the consciousness of already having, already being, already dwelling in the fulfillment of your desire. You are not a seeker, you are the source. What you desire is not separate from you. It is waiting for you to match its frequency. So remember, feel it real. Live in the end. Let your silence speak louder than your words. And above all, know this. If you can imagine it clearly and feel it fully, it already exists. The unseen responds not to effort, but to conviction. You don't need to try harder. You only need to become the one who already has it. Vibrate correctly, and everything you want is already yours. Thank you for listening.